What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Let me pull this up. Make sure I got this mic and everything good to go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight we'll be discussing something that a lot of people go down the road of entrepreneurship. They want to start their own business up, and I don't feel like they're fully prepared for it. Let me make sure I got everything on here on this end incorrectly. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, good to go with that. Tonight we're talking about the realities of starting your own business. Reality of starting your own business. A lot of times people go down that road of entrepreneurship, want to start their own business, and they have a different facade in their mind in regards to, hey, I want to start my own business. I'm tired of working at this job. I've been doing all this different stuff for these different people. It's time for me to get paid. I want to have my own freedom to do what I want to do. And they start a business, the basics, get an LLC, tax ID number, get a business license. They start pushing their products and everything like that. And it seems cool. But most of the times, 90% of the times, people have an anchor, that being a job. So it's not the tough part about the business really is not hitting them. But in reality, when we start talking about starting your own business, the truth is that you're going to be doing a lot of things that are extremely uncomfortable. You're going to have a lot of uncertainty. You're going to have a lot of financial risk, personal risk, and things like that. And I want to have a discussion with you guys in regards to that. Again, we're talking about the reality of starting your own business because, again, I'm very big on entrepreneurship, but I'm also super big on reality. And I always want to have a discussion with people when they want to go down that road of entrepreneurship, which is a great thing to do, right? So I'm not trying to say stay away from it. I've been in business over 20 years. I'm self-employed. And I think what I always want to do is have a conversation with people in regards to people that want to go down that pathway, the truth about everything. You see it in social media all the time, videos about people starting their own business and they're doing this and doing that. But I mean, if it's always so good, why is not everybody doing it? People are very quick to share with you the good part about doing certain things, but I don't necessarily want to show the other side. Again, it's not a discussion to be a deterrent for you not to go into business for yourself and not doing your own thing, but more so to have that, communication in regards to these are some the other things that can happen when you start your business. And these other things happen more often than the success does. Okay. Before we get started, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. If you haven't noticed, I am at home in my home office. Filming live. I was supposed to go down to the studio today at Misfits TV, Misfits Radio with DJ Lab and Sleep 316. But we got a potential chance of inclement weather here in Atlanta. So I decided to do it from the crib. But Rican Lab will be helping me moderate the show. I got your text, Lab, with that and everything. So I do want to start off by saying what's up to my awesome producers, DJ Lab and Sleep 316. What's happening, Rick? They can't respond, y'all, because I'm not in the studio and everything. We again have a discussion tonight, the reality of starting your own business. Before we get started, I want to say happy belated birthday to myself. Yesterday, January 8th, Star was born 48 years ago. And had a pretty good birthday. Had a pretty good birthday. I appreciate everybody reaching out saying happy birthday, to post on social media and everything. So I really appreciate that. 48 trips around the sun. Your boy been doing pretty good. So little bump here, little bump there, but overall everything been fantastic. And I do again want to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the happy birthdays and checking on me and everything like that. And we're gonna rock and roll in 2025. Hey, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. But it's real cool. It was real cool. And I did a lot of reflecting, a little drinking, and so and we're gonna party through the weekend and everything. But right now, again, we're gonna talk about the realities of starting your own business. And with that initial part of the discussion, yeah, I'm sorry, but I didn't have a damn brain cramp. I ain't got my boy Lab in here checking me. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, where we have over 1,000 videos covering personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. If you have to leave, you come in, and I announce it several other times during the show, but you can always go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and take advantage of all the great information that we have active grants playlist with over 150 different grant opportunities. And I announce it now, then I announce it later. We just released the 2025 best grants, farming grants tonight, same time we did the show. And then also tomorrow at noon, it'll be the 2025 best grants for veterans. So the 2025 farming grants and the 2025 veteran grants, both will be released in the next 24 hours. I think the farming grant was just released a little while ago. So definitely go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and take advantage of the great information there. And so again, tonight we're talking about the realities of starting your own business. And first, we want to kind of look at it from the perspective of the myth versus the reality of starting your own business. That being what people perceive people doing and the actuality. Because here's the deal. When we go on social media, we see friends, people doing well and stuff like that. Hey, I got my own business. They may go on trips. They may be listening to certain things. Sorry, y'all, I gotta have my Coke Zero too. They may be going on trips, listening to certain things, showing money, showing cars. See them doing their own things. You see the pictures, living the dream. Wish you were here. Some, whatever BS you see people doing, right? And you see it and you're like, damn, hey, I wish I was doing that. I'm tired. I'm at work in this damn cubicle. The kids that get on my nerve and ready to go do my thing. And you start, daydreaming about that. But in reality, they may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, have a pot to piss in when to throw it out. You never know, right? But what people put out there, it looks good, right? And it's nothing uncommon for you to see certain things. It's not have necessarily be an issue of envy or jealousy. It just, sometimes we see things that we want to do. We're not necessarily where we want to be at in life. And that's nothing uncommon for any human being, right? And we start to kind of wonder, where I'm at right now, should I be somewhere else? Should I be doing other things? And I think that's where we start looking at, can I be doing this? Can I be doing that? And a lot of times, people stick their toe in to the entrepreneurial pool. I'm trying to get this thing rolling. I'm sorry, guys. We'll stick their toe into the entrepreneurial pool and, say, hey, listen, let me go, start cutting some grass. Let me start cutting some hair. Let me start baking pies or cakes or making plates and things like that. And, you have some kind of success with it, but it's still kind of protected, or you're protected rather, because you're so much into it. You haven't started going to different phases in regards to that. That being, taking loans out to get equipment, leaving your job, moving around, getting a lease or buying a building or something like that. It's kind of still kind of protected. We're doing that. Let me see. I got a question here. Do you recommend starting a business or buying a business that's already cash flowing? It just varies. The question is, do you recommend starting a business or buying a business that's already cash flowing? It varies. That's a great question, because at the end of the day, once you get all the data in front of you, what may be applicable for one situation may not be necessarily applicable for the next situation. So getting something from and starting from the beginning, or getting something that's already making money, it just depends, because there are other factors that can go into it. Reach out to me if you have a certain specific answer. I'll be able to probably give you more details about it. But the good part about that question is, now I do want to tell you guys, even we having this discussion tonight, be very careful when people give you holistic advice. Be very careful when people give you holistic advice. I'm accountant by profession. I've been in business over 20 years. I'm very skeptical of people that can tell you do this, do this, do that. Typically, to be honest with you, everybody's situation is different. What a person does, in the same business, right? We got a barbershop. A barbershop that's located in certain different areas may have to move a certain way. A barbershop that has different contracts or certain things, or structure wise, maybe booth rental, maybe suites. Different. There are so many different factors that may come into it, especially even located, depending on where you're located at, for different restrictions in regards to who can be there, where it's located at, different licenses and things like that. Every business, there's a case by case thing. And some things are going to kind of always be the same, with some businesses, that especially like from a mathematics standpoint. But I don't really believe in holistic advice. Just the best thing you can do is just gather the data from each different situation. Something's cash flowing and not cash flowing, and then kind of weigh everything out from there. Then you can start processing. But it's not which is better. Both situations got pros and cons. And I know I didn't directly answer your question, but probably the best answer I can give you with that. Okay. And again, when we're talking about tonight, the realities of starting your own business, let me start with the myth versus the reality. And the basic myth is entrepreneurship is all about freedom, instant wealth, and working on your terms. I hear it all the times, I want to, get off the plantation, start my own thing, because, you may have started doing something, a business in addition to your normal source of income, that being your job. Now, I've cut a couple yards. We sold a couple cakes. We did a little pop up, made some money. Got a little food truck going. We got a food truck going, and we're doing well with it. And like, hey man, this is the way I need to do it. I can, work when I want to work and do what I want to do and everything. And a lot of times, I'm gonna be honest with you, people get kind of stuck in that part of it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not the way it really goes. The reality is, when you are starting your own business, you need to be prepared to work long hours, especially in the beginning. Lab trip on me all the time, because I get that same phrase. I work 20 hours a day, so I don't have to work 40 hours a week. Again, I work 20 hours a day, so I don't have to work 40 hours a week. And what I mean by that is, it's nothing uncommon for people to know me. I might be working 2 or 3 in the morning. I might, just to get certain stuff done. That doesn't mean I don't have any systems in place. That doesn't mean I don't have any customers. I mean, we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. You have to make some real tough sacrifice from a time perspective. It ain't just in the beginning, but you have to be really prepared for that. And the big determinant is going to be with that, how much you want it, because most of the time, the reality, people actually get started in business because they want, either a job going to pay them some money or just some additional income. Once you get kind of okay, well, I got enough money, well, we're comfortable, we're not really stretching, or things kind of are okay or cool, that's when people kind of back off more so with that job. But if you're pressing to make that back off in that business rather, but if you're pressing to get that business off the ground, it's going to take a lot of commitment and a lot of work. And that's just the reality of everything. And you got to be realistic. And here's the deal. It's nothing wrong if you want to deal with the business at your discretion. I'm off on the weekends. I deal with it then. I get off work at 4. I maybe start doing a little work here at 6 or 7 o'clock. Nothing wrong with that. The issue comes up if you haven't, 8 to 9 or 10 hour expectations, and you've only been putting in 2 to 3 hours, right? It's just the reality of it. You can't have that, okay? There's a sacrifice for success. So what you have is what you have in regards from availability and time standpoint, but just trying to, have certain expectations, because you can only do so much. You're tired as hell when you get off work. Can you build a website? The weekend come, you burn out from the week. You want to sit back, relax, have a drink and stuff like that. You feel like you're going to work a little bit on the business, do some posting and everything like that. That's fine. But you posting on social media on the weekends or a couple times a day is vast different than somebody posting 2 or 3 times a day, right? That's a vast different than somebody running ads and stuff like that. So you can't have the expectations of a person. Well, you can have whatever you want. Let me correct myself, but realistically, that's not going to happen. Also, when you start, when the reality of business is the financial and potential, the financial risk and the potential instability. You put everything you have into it and lose it. It's a lot of people out here that, just say I'm gonna take a leap of faith, and it shit just didn't work. They grew debt, lost relationships, mess around, maybe lose their home, their car, and everything like that. Next thing you know, the family falling apart because no money's coming in because one person wanted to follow their dreams. And I'm never gonna tell nobody not to do something, but I'm always gonna tell people, when you take risks, you need to make sure you can cover yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, everything isn't gonna work out. Everything never has always worked out for me, right? But I've always come from the school of thought, well, look, I can afford to lose this, I can afford to lose that. And I say again, I'm not the captain that's gonna go down with this ship. So if I see things not necessarily working or moving in the right direction, I get out of there, right? So that's why I challenge people to always kind of keep in mind the risks associated with that. You don't want to have a situation where this is something that you're trying to do in addition, to what you already have going, and it becomes a detriment. There are a lot of people that have stable situations. They got a job, got a home and a car going. Now we want to start this business up, and the business started off doing well. We got the food truck, we got the lease and everything, but then it started getting slow. And now we're robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep it going. And we went through our savings. We went through the kids' college fund. We're behind in our personal bills because we have had success, and we don't want people to look at us being failures. And we're going to keep on putting money in some shit that ain't working. And you got to be smart about that, okay? Another reality is the mental toll of handling multiple roles and constant decision making. That's a lot. Business is very stressful. And I will say this, I've run across a lot of people over the years, and I've seen a lot of people that can't handle, or the whole theoretically juggle more than one ball at a time. You're gonna have a tough time in business because things are gonna come at you that you didn't have planned and things that you didn't have expected. And you got to be able to make a lot of decisions and stuff on the fly, or really find a way to process things happening that are from different angles and stuff like that. Can you say pause for a second, let me get it done? But it's not going to be something you can just stop. Let me think, I can't handle this, because you got customer arguing, people in the back fussing, someone walking in the door. You still had somebody got to call back later. Your mind got all kind of stuff going on, and you got to find a way to be, calm and all that, and how you're going to handle certain things. Okay, so it stretches the hell out. So you got to be able to, find the right structure for your business, mental structure for yourself, and find ways that you're comfortable with processing and handling situations. Okay. T.L. Johnson says, but there are cycles. You can't jump ship because you are in the down cycle. Well, no. When I say cycles, here's the deal. I had a studio, and I've shared this before. I had a studio downtown Atlanta, maybe back in 05, 06, 07. Well, it wasn't about no cycle. It just wasn't making no money, right? At one point, we were making a lot of money. Then it got to a point we weren't making any money. We're pulling money from our personal stuff to keep everything afloat. It just wasn't something that we were good at. We didn't do well, with doing it, and it just didn't work. That's the reality of everything. You can, when you look at cycles, some things are up, some are down. You got to be realistic about certain things in regards to, are we just gonna ride this wave and hope it get better with it? Some things will, and some things you do got to sit and wait. I mean, look, tax season right around the corner. We started advertising and training in October. Right now, we putting other promos and things together. For the most part, people that file, especially getting earned income tax credit, their refunds aren't going to get released until, I'm thinking, maybe late February, right? So you're talking about putting in money, putting in time since October, heavy since December, and you probably gonna get the bulk of your money start coming in to March, right? So, I mean, that's just the reality of how the business goes. Been in the business over 20 years. I don't know too many businesses people will be putting out money and time for 3 or 4 months, almost really for almost 5 months before the bulk of your money start coming in. So the cycle part is cool, but also you got to be realistic about, is this just a cycle or this just how it is? That's the thing about it. Everything ain't gonna get fixed on its own. Just because you can have patience, just you can have belief, it's not necessarily gonna get fixed on its own. And that's why you gotta be realistic yourself. So, you have to sit down and have certain things in place, metrics and certain other stuff, and just kind of learn, through experience to say, hey, this is just a phase we're going through, and like this is what it is. And I think a lot of times, you without being fearful, and the best way to do that is seek out information and talk to people and kind of do research. Not necessarily being scared when things are going, a certain pathway, which happens a lot. And just be realistic, like, hey, the reality is not going to change from this, right? It's just how it is. This is the new normal with this, and this business is not going to go in a different way. And just move from it. And we're going to talk about that too. Just kind of strategies to kind of see if, what we're doing is not going the way we're playing, because we bought all this equipment, got an LLC, got a tax ID number, and we have open and nobody's coming in. And we don't know what to do because, again, we've done everything we felt we're supposed to do. It didn't happen. And we don't know what's happening. But what we do know is happening is these bills are coming in. But none of these damn dollars are. So you have to kind of just have things in place to help you kind of navigate the thought process in regards to, okay, is this something that we just have to be okay with? Things gonna come in later on, or this stuff just probably wasn't a good idea from the get-go. We'll have that conversation. We'll go over that in a little bit. Again, tonight's show, we're talking about the realities of starting your own business. Got a comment here from Let's Talk America Radio. Good evening, Jen. Great topic. Question is modern day entrepreneurship a viral trend that most people want to push and post instead of actually pursuing? Boss mode, hashtag boss mode appears to be a popular hashtag. I think so. I think a lot of people want to the nostalgia of being your own boss, being able to call your own shots. It looks good. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that. I just believe that most people don't understand the sacrifice or what it takes to be able to do that. Like, it's just like you want to go on a trip, going to go on a cruise, you want to go on a vacation spot, right? But you have no clue of thinking about, okay, this trip gonna cost $5,000. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna get on a payment plan. Am I gonna pay out right? Can we do it? Do I gotta max out a credit card or whatever? Is looking at the destination before you think about the process to get there. And I think that's what happened with most people, because number one, when you see it on social media, see other people doing it, it looks easy. And then you size people up like, well, hell, I'm just as sharp as him or her. If they can do it, I can do it. The funny part about it, they probably damn lying. And when people don't have a solid pathway to get certain things done, I think that's when a lot of issues come up with that. Good question. Got another one. Misfits Radio. What we got? Should you have savings to help you through the lean time? Yeah, you can have savings. You can have savings set up. You can have available credit and stuff like that set up through the lean times. But you got to be realistic about how far you want to go into it with certain things. That's why, it's so important. Business plans and forecasting and projecting is so fun. People hear about it and because you don't need, a lot of times outside of getting funded, a business plan in place. You don't need an accountant in place. You don't need when I say need, not that you don't need it from, you need their services. I mean, you can actually start the business up without having them on deck, right? You can start your business up without having an accountant. You can start your business up without having the business plan. You can start your business up without having the attorney. The problem is the structure wise and the planning wise, you don't have that in place. So when things don't go right, or things that happen that you weren't planning for, you don't know what to do. That's the reality of a business plan. Business plan, while too often people look at it as just something for to assist them getting funded. The business plan is pretty much, your plan for the year. That's why when you see even your Fortune 500 companies, and I always say that again, putting 15 years in corporate America and working for a Fortune 500 company, you will they spend so much time in research and development, strategic planning, and things like that. So things gonna happen. It's not that things gonna happen, is having contingent plans or backup plans for when those things do happen. This is our plan. But if it rains, we're gonna do this. If it is a mudslide, we're gonna do this. If road fall apart, we're gonna do this. And that things may not necessarily happen or ever happen, but just have certain things in place just in case from there. What we got here? Here, Johnson says, is there a multiple formula that should be used on how much working capital you need before starting? Yeah, there's a plan with doing it, but I'm gonna be honest with you, we're talking about as far as with starting your own business. I will say this: when you look at as far as working capital and things like that, we have tons of videos on the YouTube channel in regards to how much money you need to start your business up, how to forecast certain costs and do certain things like that. Got tons of videos on that with doing it. But the easiest answer I can just say, you can easily just sit down and write down the monthly costs that you'll have for a business. That being rent, utilities, insurance, things like that. You know what that'll be on a monthly basis. Just forecast it and just multiply that times 12. That's about the easiest way. You can sit here and say, well, listen, as far as the working capital, what I need to stay open, those basic costs that you're going to have to keep that business open. You can just sit down, take a little time, write it down. And we got to make sure you write stuff down. Why? Because, writing down is going to keep us honest and accountable. Write it down, multiply that by 12. You got a good idea of 6 months, however you want to do it. And you'll have your number there with doing that, okay? We're going over the reality of starting your own business. One of the thing that I went over just then, where we just talked about the myths versus reality, I lost myself for a second. And what I want to just share with you guys, some common challenges in starting a business. Again, some common challenges in starting your business. The first one to be in long hours and sacrifices. Entrepreneurs are often wear many hats. You can be the marketer, the accountant, the customer service rep. Personal time and relationships may take a back seat initially. Personal time and relationship take a back seat. You have to be realistic about what you're trying to do, where you're trying to be, how much a commitment is going to take. That's the problem with a lot of times. A lot of times people, again, they have certain plans for doing certain stuff, but what you want to do is going to take a hard, 6-month commitment. Is you can't do it part-time. You can do it because that's your own availability, but you can't have those kind of expectations. You want to start this restaurant up, and you want to, you can only come in, when you get off work, so you can have your sibling or your significant other working, but they're not you. They don't have your vision, and they're not going to hit it. They're going to support you. They're going to be there, but they're not going to have the enthusiasm or energy or anything to come in. And you got to be realistic. Like, they can go in and screw your whole damn operation up. Not because they tried to, not because they didn't care. They just not into it the way you are. And it's a commitment that you got to give that they're just not going to give because, again, that's not them. That's not them. It's not part of something that they're trying to do, okay? They're only doing it to help you. So kind of keep that in mind. We start talking about long hours and sacrifices, okay? The second, being we talking about common challenges in starting a business, is financial instability. You got no guaranteed income, especially in the early stages. Shit, you ain't got nothing. I'm a firm believer in, if you start a business up, stay at your job as long as possible. Unless you got some guaranteed contracts and stuff coming in, don't you leave your damn job. Don't you leave your job. And I understand the aspect that some things will need, you have to be there. Most of the time, you make that kind of commitment with doing it. You need to make sure you got a lot of cash reserves. You better make sure. I'm telling you, for every success story that you heard people say that, hey, I burned the furniture, I lived in my car and all that kind of stuff. And then, turn around, they become multimillionaires and stuff. It's inspiring, but most of them folks don't ever recover from that. I'm being brutally honest with you. I'm 20 years in the game. That's why I'm not trying to be negative. You need to make sure you got a good structure in place. It's nothing wrong with taking your time to make stuff happen. But there is something wrong with forcing things to go at a pace that you're really not prepared for. Just don't force stuff. Don't force stuff. I ain't tell you not take no risks or do anything like that. But you need to make sure that, look, I can cover certain things. You need to make sure you got enough of personal and personal funding and stuff like that, like we just asked a little while ago, you need to make sure, hey, you got a lot of stuff to be able to carry to cover you, okay? Because stuff it's not when stuff gonna happen. It's not if stuff gonna happen, it's when stuff gonna happen. And that's how prepared you are. Everybody can handle success. Everybody can, when the money coming in and the phone ringing out the hook, and you're feeling good because just, hey man, you seen, I've seen it all the time. Hey man, look how much money we made last month. Hey bro, look what we're doing, man. Hey, I'm thinking about expanding. They've been in business every bit of 3 months. We think about getting another location, and then shit gets slow, right? And then they're trying to figure out what's going on. It's tough because this was not something they were just trying to. They like making money, but they weren't trying to go into their 401k about this. They weren't trying to go, start borrowing money from the bank and family members with that. But that's what happened when you invested in the food truck. You invested into the lease, right? Now we got certain things going. We got commitments going. We have to be able to cover it. So you need to make sure that you can balance that. And you want, there's a difficulty in balancing that growth strategy and that cash flow management, because in your mind, I got $5,000 coming in, but in actuality, to the question asked earlier, when things start getting slow and the $5,000 a month coming in reduces to $2,000, but we consistently have $3,000 a month in overhead every month, and you may need to make sure that when it's good, you prepay some of your expenses. You might put extra money towards your electric bill, even though the bill is $500, you might pay $800, so you can just have credit when things slow down. But you got to be disciplined enough to make sure you have those things set in place. Okay, there's emotional and mental strain. That fear of failure, self-doubt. I see all the time where people can post certain things on social media. Hey, we're doing this, business is going great, and it's cool. But then, like, when shit start getting slow, you see less posting, you see less things going on. I'm pretty sure you said, and these conversations is not to ridicule anybody, okay? It's not to ridicule anybody or pick at anybody, but I'm pretty sure you guys have seen those situations where things start going in a different direction, and the activity that they have changes a lot. The activity being the posting, the talking about the business. Sometimes people have a little success now, and they turn to Aristotle and they start making business quotes. Hey, keep on keeping on. You can do it. Quitters, winners never quit. See some bullshit like that posted on their page, and all that stuff just stop. Shit start getting slow, right? So you have to make sure that you mentally can handle a lot of that stuff. So you be okay with. Understand that everybody gonna be there with you, not in a bad sense, because like say you just get used to that feeling isolated, unsupported. People care about you and love you. I mean, you say that to you, even if it isn't the case. But when you start going on endeavors for yourself, you can't expect everybody to have the same feelings that you have with your failure, things not going your way. When people they can support you. Remember, I always say support is a great word, because they're not sharing your stuff. They're not going to your stuff. That don't mean they don't care about you. They might tell people about you, this, that, and that, but everybody may not want to eat at your restaurant. Everybody may not want to buy your shirt. Everybody may not necessarily want to go to your show. That doesn't mean they don't care about you. That don't mean they don't love you. It's just that their support may be, hey, bro, you doing good? Check on you, this, that, and that. It don't necessarily be transactional. You got to get out your feelings with it. And you got to be, entrepreneurship is an extremely, extremely lonely walk. It's a long ass walk. And I'm talking about when we started, I'm having this discussion with you guys, like, I ain't somebody just started damn business up last year. I sold a couple cookies. I'm just come over 20 years experience. It's very, very lonely. It's very lonely. You're going to get a lot of words of why you do this, why you do that. When you shit going good, everybody think you're a damn genius, right? But when things ain't going good, I kind of told you that. Yeah, I thought shit that they never mentioned to you when you were going through it. They started mentioning it then. Yeah, man, I thought that wasn't going to work. Or yeah, man, you should have thought about this. You should have thought about that. You're like, well, why the hell you ain't saying that to me? And your mind wonder, hating on me, but they're trying to sit here and do certain things, put stuff in the mix. May not be that, but sometimes people talk off the top of their head, and it can mess with you. So you got to be mentally tough enough to be able to deal with things not necessarily going your way. You have to be mentally tough enough to understand that everybody ain't going to be a cheerleader. Because in reality, people don't have to be a cheerleader. This shit not for them, it's for you, right? So you got to sit here and say, big picture wise, focus wise, this is for me. And I got to be able to go through this. So I'm not always going to get pats on the back. I'm not always going to get hugs and kisses. I'm not always going to be able to get, people, beating at my door and give me certain stuff. You have to sit there and say to yourself, like, hey, man, I got to ride this. I got to ride this, regardless of what other people are saying to you or not. Okay, what we got right here? Let me see. DJ Lab, what's up, brother? Lab, this is the first damn time I done got one question from Lab. What Lab got? Some entrepreneurs believe that they should get started first and then work on the business plan. Getting it going seems to be the most popular thing. Okay. Again, some entrepreneurs believe that they should get started first and then look at the business plan. Getting it going seems to be the most important thing. The only issue with that, and I'm always about action, we're doing certain stuff. But here's the deal: how you gonna move if you don't know how to move, right? We can sit here and be in a situation where at least I'm doing this, at least I'm doing that. That's that bullshit. I've heard people say that all the time. Well, at least they trying or doing certain things. We know time is the one commodity that once it's spent, we can't get it back. Take your little time planning. Now, I will say this from, just use myself for example. There are times when I can make a video or do something that is high quality, can take a lot of time. And there are times where I can just do 30, 40 second, video. Hey guys, check out the IRS website for this, that, and that. They got a new rule, new law. You guys can take advantage of it. And sometimes quantity is better than quality, right? But you still don't want to put, piss poor stuff out there. But in reality, when we start talking about, that business having a plan and everything together, you gotta be honest with yourself. Do you want to get started because you want to get started, and then things get to rolling and you did it totally wrong, and then you got to stop? Or it stops on you because you didn't want to spend a little time planning. That's the thing about it. Far too often people feel like, okay, I don't need this. I don't need that kind of stuff together. And they get out there, and the worst thing that can happen for entrepreneurs, the worst thing is success. Because when you have success as an entrepreneur, and I appreciate that, Loud, keep them questions coming. You know better than that. And I appreciate it. The one of the worst things that can happen with entrepreneurs is success, because once you get success, you feel like you got it. And once you feel like you got it, you stop doing a lot of things to help you get into a position where you at. So you don't read as much, you don't research as much, you don't ask as much, you don't do some of the little things to help you get to a certain spot. So you got to make sure that you stay humble and realistic in certain ways, and don't get this situation that you are in confused with reality, right? Just like we can have a slow month, we can have a great month where things are going crazy. But like, hey man, don't get it twisted. This is just what's happening right now. And a couple of months from now, it's gonna be different. I'm always hyped up tax season. Everybody know we're making money, we're doing good, we're taking care of customers, everything's great. Come June, July, that phone ain't ringing. And I got to be disciplined enough to make sure the money that we made, we allocating it for the rest of 2025. So those are the kind of things you got to kind of make sure you keep it in place where you're not getting a moment in time confused with reality. Again, I say you can't get a moment in time confused with reality, because things going to change, right? Good and bad things are going to change. If you guys got any situation where you felt like you started a business up and things were great, and then all of a sudden it shifted, feel free to share that moment in the chat. And I think that's one of the tough things. When we start looking at some of the other common challenges with starting a business, that uncertainty and risk. Man, markets be unpredictable. We have a new administration coming in, presidential administration coming in. Man, you don't know what the hell they're gonna do. And let's take, if you like a person or don't like them in, but you still have your business. Let's say you got an import-export business going on, right? You trading certain things in another country, you get other stuff shipped in. Man, you don't know how they're gonna adjust these damn tariffs. You don't know if you got to, you gonna have extreme changes in your prices or your costs. You don't know if you got to cut stuff out. You got to source, from a whole nother place. You don't damn know. You don't know. Technology innovation, see what AI has done, in regards to certain things that were available years ago that, that is not now. When we talked on the show about 7 years ago, I remember me and Lappy having discussions where everybody was fussing that was working, I won't say fussing, but they had complaints that were working in the fast food industry, and they were talking about the living wage, and all the states start, changing their minimum wage and everything. And I said it then. I said, man, what happening is, because you talking about, a lot of unskilled labor, they want a certain amount of money. You forcing on corporations' hands. And what did the corporation do? They made massive investments in the innovation and technology, massive investments into it. So now you got robots in every damn warehouse. You got the damn robot at the restaurant. You got these kiosks and all that kind of stuff. And what technology innovation does, it takes jobs. It takes jobs. That machine don't have to go to the bathroom. That machine can't get pregnant. That machine does not need PTO. And that machine pays for itself in a very short amount of time as opposed to a person. And when you force certain things to happen, that's what happens. And I don't think really, especially in the direction that we're going right now, that the country is really prepared for that, because people really want jobs, we want certain things. The issue coming up is, I'm gonna be honest with you, can make this applicable to businesses as well. It's cool to want certain jobs and want opportunities, but I don't think we have the actual economy that is smart enough or adaptable enough to take advantage of the technology and stuff, the way things are going. Do you have a lot of people? You got a lot of people know how to be on social media, but do we have enough people to work, some of these warehouses and everything, or work certain vehicles, as we have technological advances and those kind of things? That it's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because, with the kids coming out of school today and everybody have different things they're trying to do, like, you got to make sure, if we're going to be doing these certain things, even from your business, is your business going to, is certain things going to change with your business? The tax business, we started 02, 03. Just being real, pretty much, we had a rapid refund. People could just claim damn near anything and stuff. There weren't too much checks or, any kind of overviews going over with the actual tax business. Shit, now, man, you probably got maybe 45%, 45, not half, but at least 45% of most tax payers, they're doing their own damn taxes. So the market's shrunk a lot. That doesn't necessarily say you're going to put a tax person out of business, but you've seen a very big shrinkage in a lot of the franchises, because they don't need the brick and mortar stores, because you can go to H&R Block, you can go to a Jackson Hewitt online and fill them out yourself, right? So they shrunk the amount of franchise they had available to instead, because more people doing themselves, and it's just a matter of adjusting. Because I've been in business over 20 years, I'm doing grandkids taxes. I'm sustainable because of that. I got a large customer base, but from a growth perspective, it's shrinking. The opportunities change, and you got to be realistic with stuff. When we start talking about those market changes and things like that, rules, regulations, things like that, all that stuff can come into place. You want to have a nightclub or whatever set up. Next thing you know, they build a church down the street, and rules, you can't have that around there. Who's to make the change? More than likely, they're going to stick with the church instead of the club, right? So you got to kind of make sure that things are set up in a place where you can be successful and be able to pivot and adjust when they do change. Not all ideas succeed despite effort and passion. So you can have all the energy, all the answers, all the I want to do well, and it still may not work. And that's just the reality of it. There are a lot of people that got food trucks, restaurants, and things like that. They are not lazy, they committed. But at that particular place, at that particular time, it just wasn't a good idea. And that's just the reality of it. There are a lot of folks that, have thinking outside the box, doing certain things, but that coffee shop, that restaurant, that particular place, that it just was not a good idea at that particular location. That's just the reality. Okay. So I just that's just something I want people to kind of keep in mind with that. Okay. Let me see. We got questions. Anything? Scroll through. Let's see if I got any questions. Thing. Yeah, right now the night show we're talking about. Make sure I ain't booking nothing up. We're talking about the reality of starting your own business. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Remember, the main hub is the Mr. Short on Investing. Got a question from my brother Lab. Lab says, should entrepreneurs who have a seasoned business have other businesses for other seasons? So this way they won't have yearly income, i.e. tax season is over. Now I'm doing accounting work. It varies. You can have, again, the question was, should entrepreneurs who have seasonal business have other businesses for other seasons? So they have, yearly income, i.e. tax season is over. Now I can do accounting work. So again, you have a business that may be seasonal. Should you have something in place just in case when thing is over with? It depends, because you can make enough money in the season and just pay all of your bills for the rest of the year and just that's it, right? Or we're doing that. So you can look at it from that perspective. You can do it where you say, okay, that season can cover a lot, but it's not going to cover everything. Year round, we're doing bookkeeping, tax prep, consulting work, forecasting, projecting and stuff. So that goes around year round. So you can have that perspective. It just depends. But what you can't do is, and this goes back to the question Lab asked earlier, that's the whole importance of having the business plan, having all that stuff wrote down. You do not need to be shooting from the hip with your business. If you have not sat down and looked at, okay, this is my lease, this is we got accurate numbers. We're just estimating, forecasting, in regards to just say how much we're gonna pay for electricity, how much we're gonna pay for water. We can probably have a good number for the rent and the insurance amounts. Like we can have that, but a lot of them we're gonna be kind of guesstimating on in regards to what we're gonna have. So write that down and just say, listen, I'm pretty much gonna sell X amount of widgets or whatever, do so many services of this particular item during this period. How much is that going to cover? Right. And we just say, okay, that's going to make me X amount of dollars. And then if we sit here and say, that's not going to cover us for the year because we already have a total number, what those costs are going to be. In the end, sometimes you want to add an employee here or there, what you might have to pay them during a certain period. You got those numbers in front of you. Numbers going to keep us honest, right? Numbers keep us honest. A lot of people want to avoid numbers because they feel like, nah, that's being negative. What did we say last week on the show? Do not, take facts as people being negative. Don't take facts as someone being negative, right? So it's just because a person gives you a fact, that does not mean they're being negative. Like, no, man, they don't sell those. People not buying those particular things. They're not taking that kind of stuff. Like, so that's just a fact. That's a reality, right? People in that community don't really eat those particular foods. Now you say, well, hey, we're going to put it there. We're going to force it down the throat and they're going to go. And, you get a lease and you open up this, Irish restaurant in the middle of the hood and nobody wants to support it, right? Nobody wants to go there. But you so hell bent on make certain things happen, right? You want to get this soul food restaurant in the middle of Chinatown. It just ain't going to happen, right? That those kind of things we got to make sure we're being realistic about. So to answer that question, Lab, it just depends on, are you going to be able to cover the cost? That goes back again. Make sure we got proper planning set up where we got those things wrote down, guys. We got tons of videos on the YouTube channel covering business, forecast and break-even analysis. All that information is on Mr. Showdown on YouTube, where it's a ton of information. I mean, everything's broke out by the playlist. You can go down to entrepreneur playlist, the finance playlist, the grant playlist, and different videos on this. So we got a lot of information on how to do those projections, break-even analysis, and find those kind of numbers on the front end before your business start. People just, try to sway away from it because, again, they look at it as BS or, like I said before, as it being negative. It's just facts, right? We can't run away from the numbers. So best to have and not need, the need and not have. That's my platoon sergeant told me a long time in the Army. Best to need, have and not need, the need and not have. And I've always lived by that rule. Lab says 21 Lessons for the 21st Century is a great book that talks about that. Innovation taking jobs. They have AI doing paintings on buildings now. Man, AI might be taking your woman in the future. Damn telling. I'm just you have to be prepared for everything. And this is what we ask for. This is what we ask for. We want life to be easier. We want to have certain things taken off our hands, and we designed to have the phones that can actually do everything. We designed to have it where we can have communications with somebody and be able to look at them face to face while we're talking, right? So this is what we wanted to have. We just got to make sure that we're prepared for the other side of it when it goes, when it does happen. Again, that's 21 lessons for the 21st century. I think that's the book Lab you recommended to me. It's sitting there now. I'm pretty sure, but I know I haven't read it. But that's the one you recommended me a couple of years ago about that. I need to get on top of that. You know what I'm saying? That I really definitely need to get on top of that, man. That's one of the reasons that I need to take care of soon. Tonight's show we're talking about the realities of starting your business, the reality of starting your own business, and we just went through a couple of different things that you need to be considering in regards to starting the business up. Things that gonna be some common challenges with starting your business up. And now what I want to go over is ways to help you stay motivated during tough times. Ways to help you stay motivated during tough times. Let's see if anybody asks any questions, anything. So when we're talking about, again, the realities of starting your own business, the tough part about it, going through things ain't necessarily going the way you want it. Things, the money is, disappearing, money not coming in fast enough, or businesses we aren't acquiring customers where you thought you should and everything. What do I need to do? And so some things you can do to help you stay motivated in those tough times is number one, define your why. Understand your core motivation for starting that business, keeping this purpose at the forefront to stay grounded during tough times. Why did you do it? What was the reason? Because, hey, man, listen, I'm doing this because I need to get some money together for Christmas. Hey, listen, we were trying to get some stuff together for this cruise. I have a skill set that I've been doing all my life, and I ain't really been getting paid for it. People think I'm good at it, so let me just try to do that. Remember that why. I want to leave this job. I want to have financial freedom, whatever that looks like, whatever. Remember that why. Why did I start this? Things getting tough, but we want to get motivated. We want to get back on track, right? Nobody really saying the right damn thing to us to help us out or anything like that. These are things to help you get back on track to stay motivated. Number one, remember that why. The second one is what we talked about last week. Break down those goals. If you didn't check us out last week on Mr. Short Our Land Change the Lives, we did the goal setting for 2025. I gave an exact blueprint on how to set goals, how to plan, how to brainstorm, set your goals, realistic and attainable goals. Set them out through the year, how to plan them out in regards to what's a short goal, what's a long, or what's a goal that's going to take a short amount of time, what's going to take a long amount of time, how to prioritize it. Check that video out. Goal setting for 2025. That's on Mr. Short Dollar and Change the Lives. We did that last week. That was the show we did last week. But break down those goals. Set short-term achievable milestones. Well, again, we got to get wrong one built in one day, and your business ain't gonna get that way, get done that way either. So if we made this accomplishment, we sold so many of these, we reduce this, we reduce that, and make it incremental. People say all the time, I want to make $1 million this year. We want to, I want to save up all this money, but there's no plan. Break it down. I got to put aside so much this day, so much this week, so much this month, so much this quarter, so much at the 6 month point. And then by the time we get to the end of the year, I have that goal accomplished. You got to make it incremental. You got to give yourself things to do. When you get this big lofty goal or this big task to do, and you're not a damn magician, you ain't gonna do them but make yourself quit. And you'll never hold yourself accountable because you gave yourself something to do that you couldn't damn do any damn way, right? So it sounds good, but in your mind, you took pressure off yourself because you didn't set a realistic pathway to get it done. You got to make sure it's incremental and realistic, okay? You got to be able to do that. When we start doing those certain things, we want to make sure we celebrate those small wins to keep momentum. Yeah, man, feel good. And the other person say, well, look, man, hell, you're supposed to be selling 10. Well, look, man, shit, I ain't sold that in 2 weeks. I just sold 3. I'm good. That don't mean you stop, but you just like, look, man, at least I know I can do something. It when nothing happened before, but we at least had that and celebrate that, okay? Do not wait for other people to pat you on the damn back. Pat your own damn back. Pat your head, pat your butt, pat something, okay? But don't sit here and kind of hold your success, contingent to somebody feeling good about you, right? Or somebody complimenting you, right? We got to get out of that. A lot of times people are like, well, they didn't support me. Nobody, I'm gonna give a shit about your stuff. Nobody gonna give a shit about it like you are. So you got to make sure that you have the right mindset to say, look, this is what I want to do for myself. Your kids ain't on it, your spouse ain't on it, and other stuff. That do not mean they don't like you. That don't mean they don't love you. That's just your vision. That's just your vision. And last I checked, my eyes are stuck in my damn head. So I can't really trip if other people don't necessarily see the world the way I see it, right? They may not agree with it, but shit ain't for you to agree with, right? It's for me. Now, if I'm trying to sell something or acquire people to do something, that's a different conversation. But we talking about my business, my dream, my vision. That's for me, right? So got to make sure we celebrate those small milestones and stuff and break them goals down. The next thing, you got to build a support network. Surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, mentors, and supportive family and friends. You can join a local online business community for advice and encouragement. I'm gonna say this to you guys: don't get yes people or backpatters confused with a support network. We all know we can find people like, that's good. That's okay. I see. I hear you. They love and they care about you, but they don't know what the hell going on. And they're not going to be honest with you. One thing I always learned about the military was if something was effed up, somebody told you, man, that's effed up. Well, you can say, well, look, man, you don't think if I change this way? And they're like, nah, man, I just told you it's effed up. And most of the time when a person in the military that I dealt with will say it was effed up, they'll say, well, look, man, let's go and get this stuff done so we can go get something to drink or whatever. So person will tell you and be honest with you, but they also help you correct it. I was going to have people to help you correct it, but you need to make sure that the people that are around you, that support network, they're going to always be honest with you. Remember what I said, guys, don't get facts and honesty confused with somebody being negative. They're just telling you the truth. Like, man, it's not I don't think it's a good idea. No, man, I think this shit ugly or whatever. Now, again, that could be subjective with certain stuff, but we can say, well, listen, nobody is buying apples, in this area. Like that could be a fact, right? If people like them or don't like them, they're just not buying them. Okay. You can sit here and say, well, some people do like them. They might like them, but they're not buying them. That's a fact, right? The like and dislike is an opinion. Make sure that your support network can be brutally honest with you and tell you stuff that you don't necessarily like, but they're being honest with you, right? That's the key. What I look at support network, not that's good, it's gonna be okay, just keep trying and all that kind of stuff. I don't need that. I need you telling me if something's messed up, because here's the deal. The world don't give a damn. If you my friend, you care about me, just, hey, what do you think about it? And sometimes they can't answer. Now, that's the other side of it. Better to ask your brother, cousin, mama a certain question that is out of their thinking range. Like, they may look at something or see a situation, but they don't really understand it. They love you, but if you're trying to, make certain a clothing, or you want to sell a service or something like that, because it came from you, they like, that's nice, that looks good. But they from a knowledge capacity or experience capacity, they really can't give you the kind of critique you need. So don't ask them shit, right? Stay away from that. And that's that false insecurity that a lot of times people have because they want to go to people they're close to. Deal with people that are going to be brutally honest with you. They're going to be brutally honest with you to tell you how things are going, okay? You got to make sure you do that. You can go to support groups that, definitely in the same industry and stuff like that. They can just tell you. But a lot of times the beneficial part about that, they'll be honest with you, may say some stuff you don't necessarily like, but they also contribute ideas that you weren't necessarily thinking about. But you have to be very, very, very careful about wanting to always hear good stuff, right? That's the thing about it. And typically you ain't gonna last too long if you're gonna have a thin piece of skin. Entrepreneurship is very tough if you're gonna be sensitive to certain things. It's just not going to be with you because you have to understand real quick. Everybody don't like you. Everybody don't like about you. Everybody don't give a damn about you, and you have to have the mentality that hey, and definitely don't necessarily like what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is just that. What you're trying to do, not necessarily what people want. So you need to make sure that you're in the right mind frame. Hold on one second. The right mind frame where you can handle that criticism and skepticism. And that's probably one of the most toughest part for a lot of entrepreneurs to be able to stick with. Everybody don't like you. Everybody don't like what you're trying to do. And you need to make sure that you can handle the things that come along with that, okay? You got to practice self-care. You got to prioritize your mental health and physical health. You got to work out because they're going to beat you up. You got to take you some mental breaks here and there. So you ain't out here stroking or, just, so stressed the hell out. It stops. You have to stop. And then you can't do anything. Now you can't go and do any more business because why? You had that stuff going on. You got to kind of get yourself and your mind back together. Take time for you. Take time for you, right? Take time for yourself, man. This shit rough out here. It's rough. Everything I'm saying to you, and I don't want people to look at it like, he just not looking at certain sides of it, man. I know how tough it is to be in business for yourself. I know how tough it is. That's why I say you need to make sure that you do certain things. I take as I've gotten older and especially being in business longer, I've learned to do a better job of taking those kind of breaks and doing certain things for myself. Because when I was younger, especially when my kids were younger, and money wasn't really, I was putting out more than I had in because I had a family, was doing it. Since 3 of my kids are grown now, I have to put as much out there. And I can take care of myself. When I say take care of myself, trips, parlaying and chilling and stuff, I can do that a whole lot more than, I did when I was younger because, my kids was, it was a lot of money going into it. We're doing them. I mean, the flip side of it now, they all doing well, but shit, I was that Cliff Huxtable dad putting all that money out with certain things. And I know that's just me speaking in regards to my situation. I know everybody may have certain other things going. You got to make sure you give yourself that mental break. Give yourself a mental break. I had got to one point so engulfed with everything, I forgot about Poochie. I wasn't working out, doing this, that, and that. And I looked down, I couldn't even, my damn stomach so big, I couldn't see my toes. And then you had to get back on my shit because you go to the doctor, everything high, blood high, sugar high, your brain high, every damn thing high. And really, it's not that you fell off or tried to not do nothing. You just, those other priorities were just there. You just got to get back on top of your stuff. So definitely make sure you take no physical and mental breaks, okay? Try and go through these things. Let me see. Then we were talking about things to help you stay motivated. With doing that practice self-care. Another thing is just learn from them failures. Few setbacks as opportunities to grow and adapt. Adopt a mindset where every failure is a step closer to success. When you learn from your failures, guys, we talked about that before. It was a concept I learned when I was in grad school, failing forward. We look at when things don't necessarily go our way. We take the information and we move forward with it. And we learn, we do that like in the military. We call it AAR, after action review. After action review, we look at, what happened, why it happened, what we did right, what we did wrong in assess situations. I apply that principle a lot, just damn near everything in my life that I do when I'm doing some kind of process. You got to make sure that when things don't necessarily go right, how can I make it differently? It don't necessarily be a failure. Yeah, getting your feelings because, like I said, we got to go back to that thick skin concept. It's not if something gonna happen. It's when something happens. How are you gonna be able to respond to it? How are you gonna be able to respond to it? You're gonna blame folks. You're gonna take the information and do things differently. You're gonna just accept, hey, that might be just something I got to deal with, right? You got to learn. Fail forward, learn from it, make the adjustment, make the changes. Don't be hard-headed. When the first lesson we learned when we were a little kid, grandmama say that stove hot, don't touch it. You in your pampers. She said, don't touch it, boy, back up. What we do, our dumb ass touch it. What we holler, hot. Now, here's the deal. The dumb ass little kid gonna do what? Go back over there and touch it again. Most of us that got common sense, that stove hot. I ain't walking back over there. It's the same thing with everything else. If you see you keep doing it, and sometimes you have to accept it's stove hot. I don't need to touch it. Not Well, let me see if it's still gonna be hot. Grandma already said I'm still gonna be doing it. You got to be able to be realistic with yourself uh, about how much you're gonna be able to commit to something, how much you're gonna keep going down a pathway that's not gonna work, or can you just make some changes where you don't necessarily do that? Hey, let me just pick another stove. Let me leave that alone. Those things have to kind of go in your mind with doing that. Fail forward, learn from things that don't um, uh, go your way. I say one of the biggest things is when I look at people that are successful and people that are not, is use that recovery from failures or setbacks. A lot of times the success don't come to the people that work hard. I think everybody work hard. If you lazy, you don't want to give a commitment, that's one thing. But I never looked at it that people that work the hardest get the most success. I always felt that the people that recover from setbacks and failures are the most successful, because you got a lot of people that are damn mules and they're busting, they're grinding and doing certain things, and their traction is either it can be flatline or kind of slow. But the people that when things happen, it hurt them when things, it hurt, the failure hurt them, but they not down for 2 or 3 weeks. They not finna quit. They feel bad. 48 hours top, they back at it. It hurt them, but they didn't stay in the hurt as long as the other person. That to me, your quick response to that kind of stuff is more of a sign of success. And I just based off myself and what I seen other people being successful, how they responded to them setbacks and failures. Because everybody working hard. It's not no direct. You're gonna making things happen. Usually, is a big factor. In regards to how things are gonna change. You working hard, right? But you can be working hard, and then that shit just things go wrong. You done lost some money. Stuff just went bad, and now I can't get out the bed. I want to quit and whatever and stuff like that. Now it's all funky. But if you say, man, it hurt me, but man, let me get back on top and get back in the game, get stuff going. Those are the people that's successful, right? You see those guys, those top NBA players, they ain't necessarily hitting every shot, but it's something in their mind that, well, I'm gonna keep shooting, I'm gonna keep attempting. And those are usually the one that most successful. I understand you got some things for our design. Some people may get more and more opportunities to do certain things, but theoretically, it's just that, not dwelling in the failures, right? That's usually a better correlation to you being successful or not. Again, tonight we're talking about the reality of starting your own business, the reality of starting your business. We went over a couple of strategies where we're recognizing myths, things that can help you out in regards to how to stay motivated and things like that. And right now, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of strategies for navigating those challenges. A couple of strategies for navigating those challenges. Again, we remember to read light over how to stay motivated in tough times. Then we're gonna go over a couple of strategies, right? And this wrap everything up after that. Financial planning. Like me and Lab said a couple of times, guys, remember you got to make that budget. Save for emergencies, no contingent plans. Consider part-time work, freelance, or anything to supplement your income. Do not where you can lose all your shit. I'm just telling you, far too often people having it. I done started this new job, I done started this business and everything. Then stuff get rough because you don't want folk looking at you funny. Well, I thought you had a business. I seen you posted it. You just posted too early. You posted your success stuff too early. Listen, hey man, I gotta get a part-time job. I gotta get this part-time job. I've seen a lot of shows where they show former actors or entertainers, they be doing regular jobs and people are clowning them. Hey, what happened to their money? What happened to their money? Hey, it gone. It gone. They don't have it anymore. I applaud them, man. I got bills to pay. Yeah, so I got to get a job. I ain't singing no more. I ain't acting no more. I ain't rapping no more. I got to get a regular job and everything. So don't let your ego put you in a situation where, now I'm homeless on the street because I'm above this job. I'm above this situation. Your business is getting slow. You might got to do some other stuff. They kind of, hey, let me, I ain't got to stop it, but I got to make some adjustments. We got to get certain money in, okay? So you got to get that financial planning in. All right, guys, definitely don't let that ego put you in a position where you can't even come back from it, okay? The next thing is that time management. We talk about this a lot, using those tools like time blocking and project management apps to help you maximize stuff. You have different kind of calendars. they can set up where you can put certain dates in. You have certain metrics, certain time frames. You want to have certain stuff done. Use that stuff. The Google Calendar, the Apple calendars, all the alert mechanism that you can have and stuff like that. Just kind of keep you in check if certain things pop up throughout the world or whatever, different opportunities, different information. Use that information for you. Adaptability. Give me talking about strategies for navigating those challenges. Adaptability, be able to pivot and adjust if the market or circumstances change. Do not dwell on shit not working for you. Do not dwell on shit not working for you. Stuff gonna change. It happens, right? It happens. You have to be able to pivot and adjust. What is great right now may be horrible tomorrow, and you have to be able to pivot and adjust with that. That's just the reality of business, right? That's just how that goes. What you're able to sell online right now, you may not be able to sell later. There is nothing stopping YouTube right now, tomorrow morning, charging $1,000 a month for any content creator to come on there. There's no law. They can do it. It's theirs, right? There's no law. You got to be able to pivot and adjust. Can I pay it? No. Is the money I'm making where it makes sense? No. Do I got to make my website, do my own thing? Maybe. You got to be able to pivot and adjust, okay? The last, you got to do continuous learning. Invest in personal and professional development, improve your skill set. Guys, always put yourself in a position where you're learning different stuff, more stuff. Always want to make sure you sharpen your soul. Sharpen your soul all the time. Things are going to change. You got to be prepared for changes. You have to have a mind that's sharp enough to be able to adjust and make, come up with ideas and stuff like that. Sharpen your soul. Make you a better you at all times. Life, you want to have continuous learning through life. You want to be able to do that. They're going to be, technological change, legal changes, regulation changes. You have to be able to stay abreast on it. Every year, every new tax season, they got different laws coming out. Am I going to know every law come out? Absolutely not. But what I need to be able to do is pivot and adjust when I find something out. I do need to make sure I'm taking time prior to each tax season. What are new law changes? What is different in 2025 than was in the previous year? What are those innovations? What are the things that can benefit my clients? What are the things that be detrimental to my clients? You have to find all that stuff out. Big picture wise, other opportunities out there in the world, what can I find out about? We got Google University. We got YouTube University. We have the world at our fingertips. Guys, use it. Okay. What we got right here? Let's Talk America Radio. There's a popular adage that basically says focus your efforts, not necessarily the results. The point is simple. Your worth isn't tied to your result, but your input. Let me read that again. There's a popular adage that basically says focus on your efforts, not necessarily results. The point is simple. Your worth isn't tied to the result, but your input. I think that's a good perspective. And I think a lot of times when it works for you, cool. When it don't work for you, that's the thing with that. And the beauty of what we just said, you can focus on the process, not necessarily the result. We're doing that, and I think it's a great way to be. But when that doesn't work, again, we start talking about the pivot and adjusting. Things may work, things may not work. And you got to be, and it's the same thing with life. What we have planned for ourselves, what we have planned for our children, it may not necessarily work. And, as a father of 4, I can definitely tell you a lot of shit I had planned for my kids, and they're great kids, great young men. But some of the stuff that I had envisioning, they went in a different path. Still doing well, but ain't necessarily what I had planned. Same thing with my business. I've had different things where I'm like, well, hey, I want to do this. I can get in my feelings and be like, man, I still want to do this, but people ain't necessarily paying me. The customer is not always right. I say this a million times, but the customer is always paying you. They are always paying you. So you can get in your feelings about, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to put out there. But if not buying that shit, you ain't going to be in business too long. Okay. And listen, guys, it was an awesome discussion we had tonight in regards to starting your own business and stuff. I appreciate all the input and everything that everybody had. I will say this. If you came in the middle of the show, you just kind of wonder what happened, listen, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Check out this video in its full entirety. The reality of starting your own business. Again, the reality of starting your own business. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to get a notification each time I upload a new video. If you are on any of the other platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter, you make sure you get to the YouTube channel. I just say YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, and subscribe to the channel. because that's the main hub where all the videos at, right? But regardless, I think we have some kind of thumbprint on all the social media platforms. But again, the YouTube channel is the main one. The YouTube channel is the main one. Hey, I want to say something again in regards to my birthday again. Thanks again for everybody that hollered at your boy on his birthday with doing it. I think that was the farmer video that was released at 8 p.m. So definitely if you're looking at agriculture, farming, anything like that, go to the YouTube channel, check that out. The top grants 2025 grants and resources for farmers. And then tomorrow at noon will be the top grants and resources for veterans in 2025. That's going to release tomorrow at noon. So again, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, take advantage of all that great information. Guys, if anybody knows anything, man, you guys, the contact info, you leave the comments. With the 5 questions ask yourself before you start a business, the issue came up was because we released the book through Kindle Publishing, and you had to have a Kindle reader to be able to read it. The problem that came that I've had was most people don't have a Kindle reader. So I just need some kind of platform where I can actually just have a PDF. So if you purchase it, the PDF will just be there, not necessarily something that's attached to Amazon and Kindle Publishing. So if you guys have any knowledge of having that, I'm not trying to do a situation, somebody emailed me, paid me. We're just talking about an automated system or platform where you can go straight direct from to the consumer from the business, where I can just have that happen. Guys, feel free, please send me information on that. The book Short Dollars and Cents will be released soon, so I just want to let you guys know about that. But again, guys, I want to just tell you from the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate all the love and support and everything, and be on the lookout for more great information like that. Make sure, again, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Again, that's Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe there. Been a great conversation with you guys today. Love you all. Appreciate all the support, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.